Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm absolutely pumped to look at this guy. This is the Transformers Timelines, Transformers Collector Club incentive figure for 2013, and he was also released in Botcon. Yeah, there's a lot of things that explain who this guy is, what this guy is, but at the end of the day, I think we all know that it's none other than Depth Charge, and he's going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, loud of my baby, hit that notification bell. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that is in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you are in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel, a member. And this is, very unexpectedly, Depth Charge. Now I have the Beast Wars Depth Charge. I got him $3 thrifting, and we're going to look at this guy next to that one. This one much smaller, much more slender. I never ever handled Terradive. I never had the mold. I didn't know what it was like. I'd never heard of the character. And our buddy Razor Bear sent this along very recently. I'm excited to look at it because I've never looked at the mold and I've heard only good things over the years about it. I'm also excited because it's nice to have another version. I'm going to say a pre-Beast Wars version of Depth Charge. I always looked at this iteration as, this is probably what he was like when he was like a security guard at that like maximum security prison or a sane asylum or whatever it was, wherever Rampage was, right, before he escaped. So I feel like this is like what he was when he was on Cybertron. And I'm cool with that. I'm all right with that. I am immediately impressed, but is that going to last? A lot of times, man, when I hear good things about things, I only live to be disappointed. This is 9 years old. How well has it stood up against the test of time? Well, we're about to see when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. And so yes, indeed, here we have Depth Charge, the Timelines Depth Charge, which I believe was like the whole, I don't know, gimmick, whatever, the Generations gimmick of the Transformers Collectors Club of 2013. I don't know what else came out in 2013 now. I can't remember back that far, but I know that this guy was the incentive figure. So if you had, like, I guess your club membership in paid, whatever, by middle of February, middle of March, sometime in the spring, then this was the freebie. Mind you, they were all grossly overpriced as it was. This was also put on a card back and released at Botcon 2013 because the voice actor was at Botcon 2013, and it was the whole idea of like, he could sign this and it will be a memento, which I think is neat. It is based on the Terradive mold, pretty much just a recolor of the Terradive mold. I never experienced that. I think the Terradive mold came out in, I want to say Hunt for the Decepticons, but I could be wrong. Someone can correct me if I am. But I've only ever heard good things. So what about the look for the guy? I want to say it's about a solid 8, maybe an 8.5. I mean, starting from the bottom coming up, yeah, the feet shouldn't be blue, they should be gray. But then we have the yellow on the shins, which, you know, yellow, chrome, right? I guess either would sort of work. Then on the body we have like gray and silver. The silver takes the place of the chrome, and I like the silver personally better than the chrome, so I'm okay with that. A couple of yellow highlights, which are kind of like the eyes of the manta ray, stingray thing that are on his chest. The head looks fairly accurate, to be honest with you. The blue shoulders, the thighs and biceps are both, in this case it's a little pinky. I think it should be a little more purple. We are missing kind of the thigh covers, but we do have some like paint apps right here to mimic that. The biceps, like I said, they're kind of a pinky. I wish that they were a little darker purple. The blue on the forearms, the hands, sometimes I've seen them look more goldish, so the yellow is okay. Sometimes I've seen them look silver. This is a very highly stylized body for Depth charge, I like to think that it is the body he had when he was on Cybertron. I'm going to say, like I said, it's about an 8. What about the articulation of this mold? Now we get into something I'm experiencing for a first time that I've only heard good things about. Remember, this came out in 2013, 9 years ago as of this recording. We have a head that can go left and right. It can look up a little bit and down a lot. It can look up a lot if you want to break the sculpt. Then we have the arms. They can pretty much go all, yeah, no, they can go all the way around. They can get around that wing piece. Nice, super deep elbow. I love that. We have a bicep swivel. Nothing. Oh wait, there is wrist rotation. Oh my goodness. Oh my gracious. I thought that there was not any wrist rotation. Not gonna lie. I already did some of the final thought stuff for this. When we go back to me being on camera, I might mention that he doesn't have a wrist there. I stand corrected. He does have a wrist. Leg all the way out to the side. It goes back. It goes forward just fine. No waist. That's a little bit of a bummer. The knee is 90-degree knee. No ankle, but the toes and the heels can go forward and back. So no ankle and no waist, which I realized that, and I definitely say that in like the final thought section. But I believe I also say he doesn't have a wrist. I stand corrected. He does have a wrist. No hollowness though. Like if you look at this guy from any angle going around, like no hollowness, man. Like that is impressive for the time as well. I like it. I really, really, really like it. He's solid on his feet. He stands really well. He can strike a lot of interesting poses. Waist would be nice. Ankles would be nice. We've become accustomed to them, you know, in the last couple of years. But honestly, everything is unencumbered. It's unhindered. It's really free flowing. I'm going to say solid 9 for the articulation. Maybe 8.75. But I'm going to round it to a 9 and make life easy. I'm recording this on a Friday, so I'm in a good mood. Why not? We'll say a 9. So we have an 8, we have a 9, 8.5 maybe, and a 9. So he's scoring well. What about the transformation? Well, before we get to that, I just wanted to show this. Like, you can make your own judgments about those colorations. This is my original depth charge, the one that I got for $3 or $4. I think it was maybe, I keep saying 3. I don't know, $3 or $4 Canadian, like $2.50 US, something like that. I mean, pocket change, right? Yes, he's incomplete, but man, he's complete enough. You know, make your own call. I think it's cool to have what I deem to be like a predecessor to this. I did look at this depth charge, by the way, in episode 373 a long time ago, and he had a really high score for his paint apps. He had a high score for articulation, shockingly, and he had a high score for transformation. I really like this. So far, the new one is pretty good. Pretty good. I don't like it quite as much as this one because I'm a screen accurate guy, you know, cartoon is king, right? But I'm pretty impressed so far. So what about that transformation? Okay, so I've removed the spear, trident thing. We'll look at that in a little bit. I know we haven't looked at it yet. We'll look at that in a little bit. It was on a C-clip on his arm, and I was cool with that, to be honest with you. I'm all right with that. That being said, now we have the guy just like in his base. I don't have any instructions. I don't know if he came with any instructions. Our buddy Razor Bear provided this to me. Didn't provide instructions. So we're going on a little bit of a wish and a prayer. We're going to see how this goes. Now, one feature I do like right away is the hands, and that's where I'm going to begin the transformation. So, and remember, I never had Terradive, so I've never really done this before. This opens up somehow. I know it opens up, but how does it open up? That I'm not sure about. There is a... There. Yeah, we open it out. There you go. We open it out, and then we should be able to kind of pull out the whole handpiece. There's a little magenta, I'll call it, peg in there with a slider that the hand and this other piece is on. Then we rotate the hand in, and we can close it up. I like this. It's the thruster for plane mode. But since he doesn't come with any blasters, like this is a neat way for him to have a blaster. So we got that. Then we come over to this side over here, we open it up. Again, we shimmy that out. We rotate it in and we close it back up. Great, awesome. Then we come here and we can put the whole head back, and this whole piece comes up over. And again, remember, I'm just kind of doing this on a bit of a wish and a prayer. I kind of don't know what I'm doing with it. We close up the feet, we take this out, and we're just going to bring these out and down for now. So far, so good, I think. We should next, be able to open that out, and then open that out. Yeah, and then this should be able to kind of open up this way. And rotate around, I think. Yeah. Yes, we rotate around that way. Woo! This is a lot, man. This is a lot. Next we undo the chest pieces. I probably should have had that done earlier. And we bring that down the rest of the way. This gray section folds out the whole way. Then we come down underneath here, and I believe we turn it to bicep, and then this whole thing folds up there like that, and then folds in like that. Yeah, that's what we do. So we have now like a curved section right here. We turn the bicep, close up the elbow, bring it all the way in, and then we bring it up and in here. And these two arms do go together. And there you go. That's like the back of the plane mode, kind of sort of done. This piece should come down over his face. These are up. Then we should be able to bring those down. We're going to solidify those in just a couple of minutes. So we bring those down. We're going to do the front here first. And for the front, we should be able to really sort of pick this out and up like this, and then slide this down and over, close this back up, and hopefully, push that back in. We close that up on the sides, and take down the landing gear, and then close that up. So there is a little landing gear there. So far, I think so good. Like I think this is going well. I think this is going well. I believe this is going well. We do have. See if I can figure this out now. I gotta turn this the right way to find it. There. I had turned the leg because there's a peg hole back here, and there's a peg right there on. I guess it's part of the elbow on the bicep. I guess that peg hole is gonna go over that peg on the bicep. So I got to just get that out of the way, and I should be able to turn this at the knee. I might have to bring this down a little bit more. Peg that over, and then this one we turn the same way, and we're going to peg that over as well. I just popped that out the ball joint. I got to get this back on and get these two pegs in. There you go. Once it's lined up and you haven't popped off the ball pegs at the hips, they just go on right there. It's actually fairly elegant considering it's a robot underneath. Then all we got to deal with is the wings, and the wings are a little bit tumultuous because of the armatures they're on. This one here, for example, right now, the armature cannot get in the angle it has to. So I'm going to fiddle with these wings right now for you. Okay, pardon the abrupt cut here, but I realized after I had it done that I really didn't explain exactly how you got to manipulate that gray armature. I just sort of did it. So here's what you do, and I already have one wing done. We do have in the leg a rectangular peg hole right right there. It's hard. It's so hard to see. And then we have a rectangular peg right there. That rectangular peg goes down into that peg hole, but we have to make sure that the wing is positioned in such a way that when that happens and that gray armature is all the way down, we can bring the whole thing down to peg it in like that. So you've really got to make sure that you got that gray peg put into that hole, and then after you have it all done, you should be able to put the leg back on over that peg with both wings intact. It's a weird thing to try and show, I'm not gonna lie, but in the end, we come back to the landing gear where we have this one out, and we come to the legs where we bring that one down, and this leg we bring that one down, and boom, here we have depth charge in his plane mode. That said, before we get into the plane mode, I just wanted to point this out. This is his trident thing. I've heard that the one with Terradive has suffered GPS. I can believe it. This is really, really, really thin plastic. We can open it up. Yes, there's a little rectangular peg right there that goes into a peg hole right there. This can come all the way down, and boom, we have a spare, fairly long spare. Or if you want, you can open those out, and now we have a trident. I guess that's up to you. I think these are on C-clips as well. This one is pretty badly warped, honestly. Not gonna lie. Or you can close it all up if you want, put it together, and using the C-clip that's on the back of the jet, and that's the one that's on his shoulder, which is right there, we can attach this, and it goes up like under the length of the entire plane. Cool, I guess. And here we have him, of course, in his plane mode. We do now have the trident spear thing attached underneath. You can see the kind of fade on the wings, which I really, really like. It was a weird transformation to show because, honestly, he's so slight and svelte that there's so many small little tabs and stuff, but it's somewhat ingenious. The way the chest unfurls is ingenious. The simplicity of how the robot kind of comes together underneath is impressive. Yes, we know that there are legs coming down here and whatnot. If we take this back off, yeah, we know there are legs down here and whatnot, but like everything is tabbed in nice and secure. I get why people are enamored with Terradive. I do. It's a nice mold. It's fun. It's fun to convert this guy back and forth, and that's a real big measure. So he was getting like an 8. He was getting like a 9. Right, 8 for his paint apps, we'll say. I think I might have said 8.5. About a 9 or so for his articulation. I would say it's about an 8.5 or 9 for the transformation. It's quite good. This is a fun mold. I understand the hype. As depth charge, it's certainly stylized. As its own character for Terradive, yeah, I get it. It's plain interesting. And here we are, and here he is once again. And what can I say? So for the look, I think it's pretty good. Like, if you know depth charge, then the coloration and whatnot here, yeah, it makes sense. Honestly, it looks really good. I like the silver and the gold that happened to be on his chest. It really makes it pop a lot like the chrome did on the Beast Wars iteration. That Transmetal 2 iteration, right? The transformation is pretty inspired, a little bit bonkers. I'm not the most comfortable with moving this main piece here, but it seems to have loosened up a little bit with a couple of transformations and a little bit of time. The wings on the side I thought were going to be far more obtrusive than they are. They're not really obtrusive at all. I mean, no waist, no wrist, no ankle, but it was a sign of the times. There's also no like hollowness anywhere that I could see on the guy. It's solid. I like the C-clip system with this behind his arm. I think it's cool that it can be a spear or a trident, which again matches him. The plane mode is, of course, a plane mode, but it is somewhat reminiscent with the wings and whatnot of the Stingray or Manta Ray or whatever he is as a beast. I like this. I'm impressed with this. Is it perfect? No. Has it stood well over the test of time? Yeah, pretty much. The articulation is really what, I don't even want to say sort of suffers. It's not that it suffers. It's just slightly outdated because in the last few years, as of this recording, we've become very used to getting wrists and ankles and waists. Losing those things is a little bit of a shame, but at the same time, back in the day, that was kind of the going way that the molds were. You know, sometimes we would get a waist, but on a deluxe, a wrist, an ankle, it wasn't necessarily standard fare at the time. Happy with it. Good transformation, great look, respectable articulation that still stands up well, plus the guy stands very solidly. There's a lot here to like, even despite the imperfections. Let me know what you think about our buddy Timeline's depth charge. I appreciate you guys coming by and giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we offer to you through Teespring. Or of course you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. Don't forget to also hit the subscribe button, and especially don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit. Either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or right here inside the videos.